Aloha, visionaries. This is somewhat of a surprise live, very impromptu, but it is probably going to be one of your favorites because we hear this objection from people on everything and anything that they do in their lives or everything that they choose not to do in their lives is I don't have money. So I am here to dispel this myth for you and to show you just how resourceful and creative you can get in any given situation and give you the reins and creative authority to create money when you need it, and when you desire it to. Just to show you just how much fire you can start within yourself. And this is also going to dispel a little bit of myths about what manifestation is, what manifestation is not, and how your own willpower works in conjunction with magic. So I am going to wait a couple of minutes. I always say that, seconds. But first I wanted to post about my magic marketing masterclass. Just to have this in comments for those of you that are watching the replay. It is a $99 class all about marketing. To those of you that don't know, I have been able to create from $200 in sales to $24,000 for my last sales position, only posting maybe about 3 times a week in one Facebook group. So there's nothing that I have actually changed in my marketing approach, and I spent $0 on it. And I am going to be divulging to you these secrets in Magic Marketing Masterclass for only $99. So I'm going to post this real quick and then talk to you about how resourceful you can get about creating money, because that's the number one objection that we hear. Hi Andy, good to see you. That's the number one objection that we hear whenever we're coaches and wanting to work with our dream clients, and vice versa. If you're a client wanting to work with your dream coach and you can't come up with the money, or literally anything else in life, whether it be buying a plane ticket and wanting to travel more or whatever. So here is the process that I shared with you earlier in the group, and I'm going to go ahead and share with you in this live stream. So there's 3 components that you need to create money in an instant matter. And it requires you to gather up a little bit of fire under your ass. So here are the 3 components, okay? Here, hold on. Let me pull up this post just because I want to make sure that I don't miss a thing. And because I wrote this down in a post, but I'm going to go through this in a little bit more of a detail. So to those of you who didn't see my post, I've been able to create $1,100 in a sense of urgency in 48 hours or less. And it was a combination of things as to how I did it. But here are the 3 components that you need to create money when it's like a deadline or whenever you need it right away for something, okay? So here are the 3 things that you need. Hey Leah, good to see you. You need a sense of urgency. And that's something that only you can surface within yourself. You need hey, what's up? Good to see you. You need the sense of urgency and that fiery will, and belief in yourself. I will get this money. For me, I was in a pinch. That's why I created it. I needed it like hell or high water. Only you can create this sense of urgency for yourself. No, your life may not necessarily depend on it, but if you pretend that and create that sense of urgency, that is going to light such a huge fire under your ass to create money more quickly. And that's when we hear people having instant manifestation. To those of you who know a little bit about shadow work that I employ, this would be your warrior archetype, the one who gathers up your will from within. Okay, so that's the first component, is you need a sense of urgency, and only you can create that. So for me, for instance, it's like a ski pass, right? Because I love snowboarding. I'm like, I need to make money by a deadline. This specific case that I told you about in the post of $1,100 in 48 hours was a deadline for a coaching program payment. So the next thing you need is purpose. If you know much about archetypal shadow work, this would be your values. This would be the pillar of your value, the lover, because this is the pillar of money and worth that only you give definition to. So for me, like, what's this coaching program worth? Like, I know and only I define this value, but you need to be deeply rooted in it, okay? So for me, for instance, also like a ski pass. This is something that's hugely important for me to make sure, hell or high water, that I'm fucking snowboarding in December. So this is how I create the value. Combining it with the fiery sense of urgency creates this very magnetic state of being that will then spring you into action. Okay? That will then actually make you do stuff. But most of you are like, yes, I have that sense of urgency. I have that state of being. I have this fire under my ass. Like, Marina, you have no idea. Like, it burns. It needs to be so, like, gah! Like, you need to be so excited to hop out of bed by this sense of urgency. Like, this needs to happen ASAP. And by your purpose for this cash. Why is it that you need it? Money loves purpose. Whenever it has a purpose, you are more likely to spring yourself into this action to attract that. Okay, so here it brings me to step 3, but I'll also go into step 4 that I did not cover in my post. However, step 3 is coming up with all of your creative resources. A lot of times creativity does not begin, like, you cannot start like painting a beautiful masterpiece until you gather up your canvas, gather up your paint, until you clear the space for which it could come into, right? Until you clear your working space. So this is what happens right now, is you're gathering up your creative resources. You're taking inventory of everything you have right now. What do you have right now that you can create with? Can you go like ask for a loan? Can you go get a job? Can you get an Uber? Brain dump all of this onto your journal page. Talk to me about it. Brain dump all your ideas. Actually, go ahead and do that. Brain dump your ideas into the group. I want to hear this, because the more we co-create and the more we see other people come up with their creative ideas, the more we're like, oh my God, I never even thought of that. Okay, and there's so many ways, especially as creative entrepreneurs, that you can create right now. So let's go ahead and I'm going to challenge you guys to create a brain dump of how can you create $100, say, in 2 days. It's pretty easy. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and I'm going to challenge you, brain dump into the group and onto your journal page all of the resources that you have right now, things you can sell, all of the ideas, drugs you can sell if you have drugs laying around. Not that I condone that, but don't judge yourself in ways that you can create right now. It does not mean that you're taking action on any of these steps yet, the ones that you're writing down. Okay, this is just a part of your creative process of gathering up, like, what color paint do I have? Action is critical, right? And that's what I'm getting to here next. Like, what kind of paint do I have? Like, having a vision for the painting that you wish to create, right? And that's why we covered the sense of urgency and purpose. And then now, gathering up all of your resources. What do you have in front of you to then like paint this picture with? What kind of resources do you have? What kind of things do you have to sell? What kind of parents or long relatives you can bother or whatever, and it doesn't actually have to be like the action that you take in this moment. So go ahead and brain dump everything. To make this exercise even more fun, break it down into categories of things that have worked for you before. Think of a situation where you needed money in a pinch before, okay? Like, okay, what did you do? Like, what has worked for you in the past? Because that's going to give you a sense of confidence. You're like, okay, well, I've done that before. It has worked. I've been able to come up with money on the fly. Sweet, look at me go. I'm a fucking badass. So then it gives you a sense of confidence to be able to then put that down on your list and be like, yeah, this is a viable way to actually create cash. Look to other people online. How have they created cash? What did they do? Did they ask parents? Did they take out another credit card loan? Did they go sell something? Did they work another part-time job? Did they start Shopify? Did they start Uber? Did they run a low-cost masterclass? Did they, what did they do? Did they sell massage services? Is there like a trade that you have that you can sell? Okay, so look at other people and how they've been able to create money, or go ahead and ask them if you're creatively blocked. Like, how is it that you created money when you needed money in a pinch? Ask your mom, like, hey mom, have you ever had like a gunpoint type situation where you needed money? Like, what did you do in order to create money in a pinch if you're running out of ideas? Okay, so write them down into those categories. What has worked for you? What has worked for other people? Then this is where it also gets fun. Classify them into easy, kind of a stretch, and then like, oh my fucking god, I don't even know, that's like nail biting uncomfortable. So for instance, for me, it's pretty easy to sell massage services. It's also pretty simple for me to sell like one-off sessions for my shadow work, right? Those are pretty easy. Okay, so what's a little more of a stretch is like, how can I get a one-on-one client today? Okay, so then I brainstorm all the ideas, like perform market research, create a really cool marketing post, reach out to some prospects that I feel intuitively connected to, whatever. And what's like a huge stretch? Let's see, like for me personally, it would be like get a speaking gig, like a really high paid speaking gig. Holy fuck, how do I do that? So then I could go ahead and reverse engineer this. This final step, as far as like categorizing into like easy, medium, hard, and nail bitingly uncomfortable, somewhere in between, or if you want to go send it for the nail bitingly uncomfortable, you can go ahead and reverse the process over again of how to get there, of everything I just told you, the passion and purpose behind the speaking gig, writing down all the ways you could potentially get the speaking gig, and then get that. So you reverse engineer this entire process to get to that nail bitingly uncomfortable. Does that make sense? I hope this is making sense to you guys. Like, please let me know if this is jiving with you. So then, the action piece, okay? Like, depending on where you are at and how much shadow you're carrying and how much fear you have and how much belief and purpose you have in yourself right now for this cash and how much of a sense of urgency you actually have. This is why step 1 and 2 are very critical, because it sets up your state of being. If you are truly, indeed, unfuckwithably, like getting this fucking cash hell or high water, there is nothing that should be in your way for you doing the nail-bitingly uncomfortable step that will actually get you that 10K that you want, like instantly. Most of us perhaps are not there yet. So then you could scale back and be like, what can I do that is like slightly a stretch right now? Like, commit to that for a week and take action in every single day, keeping your passion and your purpose in play every single day, keeping your why for the cash and keeping that state of sense of urgency. Like, this needs to happen now, this needs to happen now, this needs to happen now. Continuously ask yourself if this is going to keep you inspired. If you are not to the stage of like, fuck, I'm like, I don't even know how to begin thinking of, steps that are like a stretch, that are medium hard, then go into your easy column. Like, there's no shame, you guys, in going and getting a job. There's no shame in asking your parents for money, because eventually you see, if you are, utilizing this money to then like invest into a coaching program or get a new car. Either way, whatever you invest in, whatever money it is that you need it for, is going to push you to the next level, which then will require you to take less and less comfortable steps. Okay, so there you have so many options right now. The only thing that I will say is when you go to the easy and like the medium hard steps, your cash amounts are probably going to be a little smaller. When you go to that nail-bitingly uncomfortable, this is when you create quantum leap quick manifestations of money, but you're going to need to reverse engineer the process and keep yourself fired up with step 1 and 2 every step of the way. So like I said, for me, let's just say it's like a speaking gig. I'm going to go ahead and reverse engineer my process and say, what is my passion and purpose behind this, and what is my sense of urgency? My sense of urgency, I want this speaking gig by the end of the month. What am I going to do then? And create all the creative dump ideas to get this speaking gig that's going to pay me $10,000. Put myself in a position to network, to connect with anyone and everyone that knows anything about speaking gigs, etc. Okay, but it's really highly important that you keep your state of being in a fiery way, because then step 3 and 4 especially are not going to happen. So do not skip this step. Create your sense of urgency. Create a purpose for this cash. Gather up all of the resources that you have right now and do not judge. Categorize them into easy, medium, hard. And then if you go for the hard one, go for the gold, reverse engineer this process. Okay? And that's the process of how I've been able to manifest my money. In case you guys are wondering about the specifics, so I needed to come up with $1,100 in 48 hours for this coaching payment, for the deadline, right? And I was freaking out. I was like $1,100 short of like a $3,000 payment. I was like, Holy shit, this needs to happen. Oh my God. What did I do? I recruited my boyfriend, actually. I told him, like, this is the sense of urgency. This is the deadline, needs to happen by Monday. B, I recruited my, like, resources. One of them was my boyfriend. I'm like, hey, I got him on my sense of purpose with me. I'm like, this is really important for me. Is there anything you can do to help? He's like, yeah, all right, I'm going to invoice all of my people this weekend. And what did I do? I started going through my creative resources and I started selling massage services. I started advertising in local, like, it's not like a Craigslist, but local app. Started advertising that. Two pretty high paying massage clients came out of nowhere because of this sense of fire. My shadow alchemy around this required me to just be like, boom, going at this hell or high water. I'm doing everything I can, like fucking everything, like getting myself fired up to the point of like this warrior rally cry. Like, this is like the kind of energy that created this quickly for me, okay? So then the following, whatever the remainder money, it was like a few $100s remaining, he Venmo'd me and I was able to pay him back pretty quickly. So it was a combination of borrowing and getting another person in on it, because that's another one of my resources. And you guys, do not forget this when you're manifesting money or when you're trying to create money, is there's no shame in asking other people for help. Whether it would be asking them on like, how did you do it? Can you give me some advice? Is there anything that you can do to help me? Is there anything that you can do? And this will come more naturally if you truly ground in to your sense of purpose for this money. Like, this is happening hell or high water and I will do whatever it takes, which means also recruit other people in for my mission. I hope this is making sense for you guys. And before I end this, I have a really amazing gift for you guys. It's a $99 2-hour masterclass of how I went from $200 to $24,000 in sales for Lorna Johnson when I was selling. That was a hell of a leap. And I did not do anything differently as far as my marketing techniques, but there was a lot of things and a lot of tweaks that I have done in my word choice, in my energy, in my target market research, and all of these things I am teaching you guys in this masterclass. It's going to change your marketing, it's going to make it more precise, and it's something that's going to have clients reach out to you, because that's what began happening for me. I did not increase the amount of time that I was marketing. I did not change any of my tactics, but I did make it more precise with my energy, passion, and purpose, right? With my creativity and gathering up pretty much the same kind of process that I'm teaching you here, but more specifically for marketing. So this is for $99, you guys. It's going to happen on Friday the 13th. I have given you all of the ways right now to come up with $100 by Friday, and I'm sure you can do this. This is going to be one of the best things you can do for creative business, because right now a lot of you guys are probably creative and you have so many creative ideas and you don't have that precision of what actually to do to land clients and how. Okay, so this is why I'm creating this. Marketing and wordage has always come naturally to me. This is something that I've been able to tweak with my last knowledge, or with my last class of mastering my energy, as well as my recent knowledge and my recent mastery of branding and words and target market research. So we're combining both energy and intuition and intellect in this to create magic and create marketing magic. The link is up for this. Like I said, you guys, it's only $100. If you guys have any questions about this, feel free to message me. Let me put down the link again. Magic Marketing Master Class. It's going to be 2 hours long plus time for Q&A. It's going to be pretty intimate. It's going to be done through Zoom. I'm going to have PowerPoint slides for you that you then can download, so you could have the notes for a lifetime, for however long. If you have any questions, like I said, please PM me. And your homework is to dump all of the ways that you can create $100 in 2 days. Go ahead and give me all of the resources that you have right now. Post them in the group. I want to see it so that other people can see just how like easy it can be to create money on command and on demand. Once you get comfortable with that, you're going to get confidence to be like, oh wow, look, I created $100 when I wanted to and money became my bitch. You can then start playing with bigger numbers, but it starts here. So I look forward to seeing all of you guys' amazing ideas. And I look forward to seeing you guys in this marketing masterclass, Magic Marketing Masterclass. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Cheers. And I hope you found this live very awesome, because this is one of my favorite things now. Like, I'm super fired up right now about creating money and actually getting my warrior involved so that then my magician can provide. And this is the other secret before I'll go. The biggest secret in shadow alchemy or manifestation, it's not so much like meditating and getting your energy and getting the intellect and getting all the resources. It is all of the elements combined. You guys, they're synergistic. And your energy and your fire is going to come from action. And you have to be willing to fail and you have to be willing to try things, but you have to be willing to go and do. So that's the biggest secret behind actually manifesting and having the magic meet you, especially when it comes to money, because there's a lot of shadow that most of us carry around receiving money, and especially when it comes to larger sums. So there you have it. You can reverse engineer this process for any amount, you guys, and I will eventually probably make this live into a mini class because it's pretty awesome. I just came up with the process this morning. I'm like, oh, that's how I did it. So that is my gift to you. You're welcome. And I look forward to seeing all your beautiful ideas for just $100, and then we'll start playing with bigger numbers. So much aloha. Thank you all for joining, and I hope you have a splendid day. Mwah.